And joining us now is not only an NBA legend, an NBA champion, a man who hosts a podcast that we all love, the All the Smoke podcast, alongside Stack, Steven Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Barnes.
Yeah!
What's up, man?
What's up, fellas? Hey, man, thank you for having me. Big fan of you guys as well.
No, listen, need to tell you this. Love everything you fucking do. Well, I don't listen to everything you do. Everything I see you in, though, I enjoy immensely. I'm a big fan, man, honestly.
Appreciate that. Now, Jack was telling me some stories about the indie days, how we got to talk off camera. I heard you guys used to get it in back in the indie days.
Yeah, so we had a good time, man. Indianapolis is a good time, and we will definitely have to experience that. The All the Smoke podcast has really changed the game, I feel like, of the NBA. Whenever you guys start that, do you know immediately it's going to be a success, or at what point do you think you found out, like, oh, we got something good here?
We really didn't know, to be honest with you, bro. Me and Jack were both respectively doing ESPN and Fox at the time and getting a lot of positive feedback. But, you know, playing in those spaces, you got to kind of walk a straight line. And Jack and I have always kind of jumped off the line from time to time. So I threw out the idea about a podcast. Neither of us really knew what it was, but knew that, you know, we can kind of be us. We could smoke, we could drink, we could really talk our shit. And, you know, kind of cold pitched that to Showtime right at the right time when they were starting a Showtime basketball department. And, man, they picked it up and we struck gold. So it was really a lot of luck went into, you know, the
good
start
business.
Of all
That's not luck. That's good business, man. That's good business. Great work. Go ahead, AJ.
Did you have any idea going in that you would enjoy it as much as you would, or it's as good as it really is?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you guys know, you guys are over there making the big money. We're trying to get like you, but to think that you get paid to talk shit and learn more about people you admire and look up to and really open doors for other people. You know, when we first came in this space, we were learning the space, not knowing at the time that, you know, people were looking up to us, realizing like, shit, if they can do it, we can do it type stuff. And that's what we always want to do. We always want to inspire and encourage people. But we really, like I said, didn't know what we were doing at the beginning, got lucky. And man, you know, our first year out the gates, we won Sports Podcast of the Year with a lot of
people. Hey, let's go. What's next? Anything on the horizon? You guys gonna keep building and growing? And we see you on ESPN. Yeah. Is that? I assume ESPN, by the way, side job at this point. No offense to ESPN, but
yeah. With all due respect, you know, they're kind of, you know, to me, ESPN is a great platform to be on. You know, I enjoy my time there. But yeah, inside this Showtime basketball space, man, we're building out a lot of different show ideas. You know, we've signed Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Jamal Crawford. I think we just locked in Chandler Parsons. I know I'm forgetting a few people. So we're trying to build something over there. We're creating shows. I'm in the midst right now of helping Allen Iverson build his podcast. So we're just doing a lot of
let's
cool
go.
stuff.
Yeah. Hey, that's fucking awesome.
Like everybody wants to hear from AI, you know, beloved cultural icon on and off the court. So we feel like we got to do him right and help him get started as well, man. So we're doing a lot of dope shit over at Showtime Basketball, man.
It feels like the NBA has always been filled with a lot of entrepreneurs. You know, I feel like that is the case. Am I wrong in thinking that? It feels like, because there's only a certain amount of you guys, right? I feel like you guys know who's going to be NBA guys whenever you get older, too, as you grow up. And I feel like there is a lot of generational pass down of information. I might be wrong in reading this from the outside in, but it feels like there's a lot more entrepreneurs in the NBA world than other sports. Am I wrong?
I think now there is, you know, obviously because first of all, you know, you're able to see our face, you know, whether you're a starting guy, you're a guy sitting at the end of the bench, the camera still, you still get plenty of camera time. But I think now, you know, I played from 2002 to 2017, so it wasn't necessarily the business side that we discussed back in the locker room. It just wasn't that way. I think towards the end of my career is when guys really started talking about life after basketball and business, entrepreneurship, investing, all that kind of stuff. So I think I caught the end of that. But, you know, I was someone who was able to, you know, being a role player, I was a role player. I wasn't a star. You know, I played my job, did my job, did what I was supposed to do. But I was able to navigate post-career because, you know, I always tried to make relationships along the way. And knowing that, you know, at one point you may need to lean on someone, especially me, you know, going to UCLA, playing for the Lakers, playing for the Clippers, you know, I wanted to go into television just more behind the scenes after sports. You know, I happened to get in front of the camera, but my goal is to be more behind the camera and stuff like this.
Right there. Perfect. You just went behind the camera, just like that. Fucking nailed it.
Matt, speaking of relationships, what was it like to play against and to hang out with Kobe?
Kobe was dope, man. Our relationship started, you know, he came to LA in 96. I came to UCLA in 98. And obviously hearing of who he was in high school, tremendous player. But he was always on our campus. It's well documented that, when he didn't necessarily fit in right away with the Lakers, so he was more on our campus because we were all closer in age. So that's how I first met Kobe at UCLA, and I'd sneak back into Poly Pavilion and kind of watch his workouts and just be in awe of this kid that was, at the time was a kid, but was really only like a year and a half older than me. I'm like, shit, if that's what you have to do to get in the NBA, good luck for me. You know what I mean? So just kind of watching that, and then, admiring his game, getting an opportunity to guard him. It was always just every time we went at each other, it was a mutual respect, and I was just going to try to make him work for everything. If he was going to score 30 points, he had to take 30 shots. I mean, I think all of it kind of culminated with the ball fake in Orlando in 2010 that is still talked about like it happened yesterday. But people don't know from that, that's how we really became tight. It was a respect matter before that, but then after that season, Kobe called me, and didn't even have his number. It was just a random phone call that came. I was ready to head to Miami and play with the big three that they were building over there with LeBron and Bosh and Wade. I get a call from a number I don't know. I happen to pick it up, and it's Kobe. And I'm like, hello? He's like, what's up? It's Kobe. I'm like, yeah, fucking right. Who is this? And it was really him. And, he just, talked to me. He liked the way I played, how hard I played, the intensity I played with. And he told me literally, like, anyone crazy enough to fuck with me is crazy enough to play with me. Do you want to be a Laker? I'm like, hell, fucking, I grew up in Cali, Showtime, Magic Johnson, those teams, or, what I grew up on. Pretty much he sought me out, and I want to say maybe 3 or 4 days after he asked me that question, I was a Laker.
Damn! Hey, that's amazing. Full circle moment there. Can we put this back up? Can we put the hey, you're looking away, obviously, at this point. Corner of your eye, you're thinking to yourself, God damn, this dude, like, what is going through your head when he doesn't budge? Do you think he is, do you think he's fucked up? Like, do you think maybe he's not paying attention? How did it go from your perspective here?
It was weird. It was a random thing. It wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna ball fake the ball in this dude's face. It was just really period. And like just out of the blue, my arms did it. It wasn't even like I was thinking. My arms like, natural. Fuck this dude, do it out there. But yeah, the fact that he didn't blink, I didn't realize. I knew I put it right in his face, but I didn't realize obviously until later night on SportsCenter that like it was touching his eyelashes, and this guy didn't even blink. So I always knew he was a stone cold killer. I mean, this shit just kind of confirmed it.
Okay, so. I love the fact that, hey, that's an impressive thing to do to not hit him, though, too. Like, I hope you've thought about that.
Right there. It was right there, right in his face.
You being surprised on SportsCenter, man, I fucking really did. that got a lot closer than I thought it was going to get there. Is there anybody in today's game that you think has or maybe the next generation, right? Let's talk about that next generation. There feels like there's a great future to the NBA right now. Who do you think is going to carry on the legacy, right? Because Kobe handed it to, like, LeBron is obviously now, and then Kevin Durant. Like, who do you think are some of those younger guys that we're not talking enough about? John Morant seems like a fucking guy.
Yeah. I mean, I really love John Morant. I love Jason Tatum over in Boston. I think he's a killer. Luka could at one point be the face of the NBA. You think about Giannis. I think after this next era of LeBron, KD, and Steph retire, it's going to be in great hands. Again, Giannis is one of the best players in the world. Jokic is still fairly young, but these young superstars, LaMelo Ball, the game is in great hands. The game, to me, it's obviously not as physical as it used to be. And, I'm someone who appreciated defense, but I understand the direction the game is going. It's more global now because the scores are higher. You're seeing more dunks. You're seeing more three-pointers. You're seeing a lot higher skill level from some of these younger kids coming in, man. So I just sit back and enjoy it. I'm not someone that's going to bitch about, I wish it used to be this way or that way. I sit back and enjoy the wave, man. These kids are amazing talents. And, I wish and hope they get all the fucking money they can.
Get all the money. Get all the money. Everybody get all the money. Do you think Steph Curry had a massive part of this entire change, right? Because there's like 5'10" kids now that are thinking to themselves,
right.
Hey, I can get buckets, though. Maybe they can. Yeah. I feel like he's a massive part of the change of the whole game, right?
Well, I think that the skill set has really opened the door because you look at, I'm 6'8", and, I used to just kind of blend in at my height because everyone was around my height or bigger. But I think, obviously with the emergence of Steph and his ability to shoot the ball from anywhere, and then the skill level of someone like Kyrie being able to dribble the ball and do anything, it's really not a big man game anymore. It's really just more about skin. It's really a skill game now. And that's opened the doors. I coach my twins who are 13. And it's just like, we used to get warmed up by shooting under the basket like they used to do back in the day. These little motherfucking kids come in the gym, put their shoes on and start shooting from half court, get warmed up. I'm like, oh, like, what is going on here? So I definitely think that's the Steph Curry effect. But again, these kids, the skill level to me is higher than it's ever been, and it's beautiful to watch.
It seems like the basket's bigger for some of these I mean, it
Crazy,
really does.
right?
It's insane.
Crazy.
How is that? Because it'll be even off. Like you'll watch from the back and it'll be off and it'll still fall somehow. It's like mine is getting spit out to half court right there. I don't know why that happens. Go ahead, Ty.
Matt, when you look at the Lakers, obviously with Frank Vogel getting fired, does it matter who they hire? Like they're talking Doc Rivers or Nick Nurse maybe, but with like the way they're set up, does it? How much are they going to benefit from getting a new coach?
The Lakers' issues start with management. I think winning starts at the top, and I think they know that better than anyone. They've been able to capture the most championships, or tied with the Celtics, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe one more. I don't really know that, but they've won several championships. But it starts with management. You know what I mean? And from there, it trickles down. So right now, I don't necessarily think the coach is the biggest issue. I think the biggest issue is the way the roster was constructed. This is a young man's game now. They obviously had the oldest roster in the league with the average age over 30. And then you're depending on guys that on paper are Hall of Famers and first bout Hall of Famers and have great careers, but they're a little bit older. So I think they really relied a lot on Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis was hurt this season. So to me, it doesn't necessarily matter who's in that chair. I have a feeling, considering the way Russell Westbrook's contract is structured, that they're going to end up having to run it back with their big three being LeBron, AD, and Russ. And I think it's going to take some sacrifice from LeBron as arguably the greatest, if not number 2 of all time. He'll be the all-time leading scorer after next year, top 10 in assists. But I think it's going to take some sacrifices from LeBron to really empower Russ and get the best out of Russell Westbrook. So I just think these guys need time together.
Whoa! What are you saying? You're saying that he said, "Hey, Brody, this is my fucking show." You think he needs to not do that? You think that's
how's he do that? How's he empower?
I don't think he says that. I think LeBron is probably one of the coolest superstars. Never played with him, just played against him. But really just letting Russ know, because everyone knows LeBron is ball dominant. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, he's top 10 in assists. So how do you take a step back from yourself to empower someone who's ball dominant but may not also have the rest of the game you have? So I think he understands that, Russ's success will mean Lakers' success. Because LeBron is going to be LeBron. AD is going to be AD as long as he's on the court. If you think about it, those three only got out of 82 games, they only played 21 games together. And I know in LA it's a fast lane, so they want immediate success. But I think that duo just needs more time together to really figure out, because they're pieces that don't necessarily fit. But I think how great all they are, they can make it fit. It's just going to take time.
AD said, "Hey, we can be the pillars that'll win championship." He just said it. Frank Vogel. He did great things here in Indiana. He won the Bubble Bowl, but he's on his way out. I'll be excited to see who runs that whole thing. Maybe bring back Pat Riley. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Matt, you played with and against Kobe, and as a Celtics fan, I think of like Kevin Garnett. But who to you is someone that is like all time in trash talk on the court, whether you played with him or against him?
Kobe didn't really talk too much trash, to be honest. He was just he would look at you, and to me, I never really got the shit talking. I think KG was a great shit talker. Great shit talker, but he would do weird shit like blow in your face and
Lance Stevenson,
like almost like the disrespectful shit that made you really want to fight. It was crazy because I always played against KG, and now that he's over here at Showtime Basketball, I really got a chance to know him and just see that same energy he played with on the court is the same energy he attacks life with. So it's always just a pleasure to be around him. Have this dude telling some of the greatest stories ever told. He's a great storyteller. But if I were to pick one trash talker, I missed Gary Payton. Gary Payton was older than me. I'd probably say the best trash talker of my time was probably Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, he's they had him on TNT for 10 minutes?
Area 21.
10 minutes or something like that. He is awesome. He was great in that Adam Sandler's again.
Uncut, yes.
He was great in there as well.
We got something we're cooking up really, really dope with me, KG, and a couple other people. Don't want to announce their names yet, but it's going to be something that's it's going to be some shit. So
you guys are up to something. You guys are up to something?
Yes,
wow,
sir.
let's go. Yeah. So what do you guys do? Do you guys just shoot hoops over there all day and think of ideas? It sounds like you got a fucking all-star team.
No, I just smoke weed over there all day and think of ideas. I don't touch basketball. I don't do the basketball thing no more. Just ideas.
Yeah, smart. We do similar actions. Go ahead, Tone.
Matt, with the whole thing kicking off tomorrow, is there a couple teams that you'd like to potentially win this? And if one of them is Brooklyn, Does Ben Simmons have to be a part of that because they need to get stops?
I think the team that has the best shot to make any noise in all the playing situations is obviously Brooklyn. I think considering what kind of season they had with Kyrie standing on his own and not taking, whether you like it or not, he stood on his own. He came back. James Harden kind of forcing his way out of that. Kevin Durant, had some injury issues. But at the end of the day, I feel like Kevin Durant is the best player in the world. Kyrie is a top 5 player in the world. Anytime you have those two guys at the bottom of a conference, you got to be worried at the top of the conference. So I think you know what you're going to get from those two stars. To me, it's what is Andre Drummond going to do? What is Seth Curry going to do? What is Goran Dragic going to do? Do Aldridge and Blake Griffin have anything in the tank? And then obviously, there's now talks that Ben Simmons could possibly join them at some point in the first round if they're able to get there. I think Ben Simmons is a great fit because he's a pass-first point guard, and he likes to play defense. This dude is 6'10". He can guard anybody on the court. So obviously, adding Ben Simmons to that mix is going to be a big boost for them. But I think if they can stay healthy and somehow incorporate Ben Simmons, this team has a chance to fuck around and make a crazy run through the Eastern Conference.
All right, man, I was thinking about this. You think maybe he didn't have any back spasms and they were just teaching him how to fucking shoot?
No.
No chance? Do you think? Because I've seen videos of him, hey, splash. We're talking like pull-up, splash.
I've seen, but even before this season, like Ben works out in LA all the time. I've seen Ben Simmons in pickup games shoot off the dribble, shoot spot up threes, and do it. But it's just different. And Pat, when those lights come on, it's different. And not saying that he's a different player, but just the confidence in that shot to be okay with missing or be okay with air ball. And some people haven't got over that fright yet. So I think Ben can shoot. I just think it's just a confidence factor and being okay with missing, knowing that Steph even misses. So I just think he just has to kind of change his mindset. Ben's whole problem to me, and I say this with all due respect, I think is just the mental approach of the game, and he just needs a real good vet in his ear, on his ass to just stay encouraging him.
I think, hey, by the way, that's awesome to hear because that's real insight from a guy who's been on a lot of different teams and had a lot of different success. But, what's the worst that could happen, Ben Simmons? It has already happened. Mm-hmm. So, you're already there. So, who gives a fuck at this point? I think that is something that he should maybe think because what's the worst? Mm-hmm. You're going to get buried by everybody who says you can't shoot? Well, we're here. Everybody says you can't shoot.
Yeah.
This is the
worst.
You
think about it, I mean, he has a max deal and he's been an all-star and he's first team all defense and he can't technically shoot. So like you said, I agree. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, man? You just got to play your game.
Hey, when you're preparing for a team like the Nets and you said you got 2 top 5 players in the world, take me inside of training, a layout of a meeting. Hey, we need to take these 2 guys out. How are we going to do that? We got 3 guys on these 2 guys. How do you specifically game plan for games like that, especially with 2 dudes like KD and Kyrie on the team?
Well, that's the thing. You want to try to take their stars out, but obviously that's easier said than done. So you want to throw multiple looks at them. You want to trap their pick and rolls. You want to play different pick and roll coverages. You may even want to double team some of these guys at the point, and that's why I said earlier, to me, the success of this team is not going to be those 2 because you can try whatever you want. These motherfuckers are still going to do what they do. Control the rest of the team. Control the rest of what is the rest of the team going to give you? If the rest of the team is able to step up, knowing what your 2 stars are going to give you, to me, that's why they have a chance. But I don't really think it matters. I know there's going to be some coaches that think they have some great game plan to slow these 2 down, but if these guys have off games, it's going to be because they just shot the ball poorly. It won't necessarily be, I say with all due respect to any one player that's going to try to lock these 2 guys up because they're unguardable.
Hey, that's like coaches, though. They have to explain why something's going to work, and then it doesn't happen. You guys got 82 games, too, so that failed.
Right.
Hey, listen, just like fucking last time. Just like last time, boss. We appreciate you, man. Every Thursday, all the smoke on Showtime. Yeah. We can't thank you enough for joining us, brother.
Hey, man, we need you to come on our show, and we need Aaron Rodgers on our show, man. So we need both you guys on our shows. I'm putting it out there right now. We need both you guys, man. At some point, we'll fly you out. New York, Atlanta, LA, wherever you want to come. We got studios in all 3 places, and we need y'all.
I would be honored. I'm not speaking for Aaron. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. But I appreciate that. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Barnes. Thank you, man. All right, so I'm smoking weed with Jack and Matt Barnes.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. I guess if I'm going to have to. Sound like I'm going to have to.
Yeah. Twist my shoulder.
I feel like, have you done that with one of them?
Yeah. Yeah, but publicly, no. This would be good. Those conversations are going to be awesome.